Well, the NBA playoffs are in full swing, and well, we're kind of disappointed. Injuries have robbed us of a couple good series. Steph Curry being out with Golden State against Minnesota, I think has kind of robbed us of that good series. The Boston New York series has been competitive, has been fun to watch, but it's got obviously the cloud of Jason Tatum's injury hanging over it. But we talk about those. We talk about what the hell happened at Cleveland. Talk about a team that fell apart. It's probably has capped out as much as they can. And we talk about how great the series of Denver versus OKC has been. So give us a listen. It's been fun. It's been awesome. It's been awesome to watch. So, and if you like what we're doing, don't forget to like and subscribe to us. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. We're on even Blue Sky. Yes, Blue Sky. So give us a like, give us a listen, drop us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Welcome to the number one local sports podcast in Central Florida. This is Sandlot Sports. I am Adam Capperson. I'm here with Dorian Cody
What's up? What's up?
and BJ Thomas.
Oh, there go the Cavs.
Yeah, the Cavs are done. We will get to that, but I've got breaking news that tops all of the NBA playoffs. This is serious.
No,
Pete Rose and Sheila Joe Jackson are now eligible for the Hall of Fame.
Oh.
that's a little late.
So,
They could have let him in at the end of his life.
well, that's actually the point. So, Rob Manfred has said that a lifetime ban means lifetime. That once the person passes, they are then re-eligible for the Hall of Fame.
Well,
Cool.
So, which is big. It's big for baseball to like come to the 21st century. So,
so what do you think was gonna happen with Clemens and Bonds, those guys?
I, with them, I think a lot of the writers are still pissy, and they won't vote them in. My thought with it was everyone was juicing, so F it.
Right, right. They should leave the voting to Chat GPT.
We should not leave anything to Chat GPT.
That'd be crazy, right? To see who they would put in the Hall of Fame. Go my numbers. That'd be crazy.
Juan Guzman's going to the Hall of Fame because Chat GPT.
Actually, I like one Guzman to play. What he played for the Rangers, and who else did he play for? I
I
think
think he,
Blue Jays,
yeah.
Rangers, and
Now, he wasn't a bad player. He's just not a Hall of Fame player.
right.
I mean, that's like Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon's not a bad player. He's just not Hall of Fame.
but but real quick, do you know? But you're in like the elite of elites to go into the Hall of Fame because millions of people play a certain sport, right? But to be able to be in the Hall of Fame, that means that you are like best of the best.
Yeah. Somebody votes broke it down one time that if you took all of the people throughout the entire world that played a sport, okay, and ranked them 1 through 100, okay, to make a college team, you have to be in the 95th percentile in skill level.
Wow.
To make a professional team, you have to be in the 99th percentile. And think about how many people have played basketball or baseball. So to be
Right.
in the 99th percentile is amazing. And
Hmm.
then on top of that, to be in the Hall of Fame is like the 99.8 percentile.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
that's crazy. Yeah. So yeah, yeah, but good for Pete Rose, man. Um,
So as BJ alluded to, it is about time.
yeah.
So it's about time for Denver to do something, but we'll get to basketball. So anyways, so last night, Boston played New York. The series was 2-1. Boston again had a 20-point lead. And again, shot themselves.
Hmm.
Um, and Tatum, when I saw the injury, I knew what it was. I think we all knew what it was, and it was confirmed today. He blew out his Achilles. So, what does Boston do? Because this series is done. I mean, they were done before Tatum was out for the year.
It's not likely they're going to have him next year either.
Nope, he's going to be out, probably gone the entire season.
Yeah. Um, Well, they're definitely blowing it up. Um, they're definitely going to blow the team up. Now, I think now they might be forced to keep Brown and let everyone else go because in order to get a player like Giannis, you're going to have to give up someone, right? And I don't think Milwaukee is. I think they're smart enough to go, hey, I'm not going to trade Giannis in the same conference. So, um, so I think Boston now. I think they're forced to keep Brown and to try to keep Tatum and Brown together as long as they can and build around
So that means Holiday is probably gone.
them. Mm-hmm.
Porzingis is probably gone.
Yep.
White Boy Summer, Peyton Pritchard's probably gone.
Yep. Which I wouldn't mind him on the Magic either. So,
I mean,
yeah.
you talk about a step down.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking, the championship they won last year, how lucky were they? Because you think about like who they played last year in the playoffs. Okay, they played a. Let me pull it back up. I just had it. Because I think they played just a Milwaukee team with Giannis that was broken.
In the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah. Okay. So last year Boston played Miami without Jimmy Butler.
Mm-hmm.
They played Cleveland without Donovan Mitchell,
Mm-hmm.
and they barely scraped by an Indiana team. I know it was a sweep, but they should have lost multiple games.
Right.
And they played a Dallas team who was in over their heads with a Luka that was exhausted.
Right. I mean, they played a Luka that not only was exhausted, but he's not like he can't guard Tatum, like and he can't guard Brown, like so, like they knew they had the advantage there. Um, so I saw a stat. So this year, I think Boston is 8-2 when Tatum isn't in the lineup, wasn't in the lineup. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, those numbers could be tricky because they could have been 8-2 against like 500 and below teams, um, but I think in this case, they like Brad Stevens is going to be forced to have to keep Brown because there were rumors about them trading Brown. Like if they would want a championship, they probably like, all right, Brown, we appreciate you for doing what you did with us, but we're going to see if we can package you. But now, I really do feel that they're forced to keep Brown, but they can't keep the other players that you named.
But they can't afford to.
Right. Right.
So, well, you may have answered my question that I had for BJ. So thank you. BJ, Boston's a 5.5 point favorite tomorrow. The Knicks are like plus 155 to win. Why shouldn't I bet on the Knicks to win?
I would bet the Knicks.
Okay.
I'd do it tonight before the odds change.
I just did.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, Boston has been discombobulated the entire series anyways.
Right.
With Tatum.
I don't know how this doesn't push him over the edge.
I don't know.
I mean, I'd be very surprised.
Also to think too, like we have a possibility to have an Indiana New York Eastern Conference Finals.
Well, that's a very good possibility.
Like I think about what was it? Was it 99? What year was it when the Pacers faced the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals?
That was 99 when that was the Larry Johnson 4-point play.
Yeah, that's what it was. So, hopefully we get some good games during that Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, it is very possible that the Eastern Conference Finals is in Indiana and New York, and the Western Conference is Oklahoma City and Minnesota.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Especially to see Ant go up against SGA. That's gonna be a good matchup.
And yeah, I think that's a good segue. So, the Minnesota Golden State series, I think we've been robbed. With Steph being out, I think we've been robbed of a good series,
Mhm. Yeah,
and it saddens me.
yeah, yeah. Golden State can't score
No,
like without Steph. Like they stagnant is an understatement to the point where uh like Jimmy was bringing the ball up, and then Buddy Hill and Pods were like working the baseline, but it's like they get the ball coming off the baseline, and it's like Minnesota's defense. I mean, you got McDaniels, who's I think he's 6'10", maybe 6'11", but they got him listed at 6'9". He's long. So with him and the other guy, I can't think of the other guy. I think is um, I can't think of the other gentleman's name, but their wing players are very active, right? So that keeps Golden State from hitting those threes that they were making when Steph was on the floor. So now they're not hitting those threes like they were. So it's like now what? Draymond is struggling against Gobert because Gobert finally grew a pair and said, "Hey, I'm 7'1". He's 6'6". You know, so yeah, it's actually hard to watch.
yeah, Jimmy Butler can't give me 20 points. Fucking playoff Jimmy can't give me 20 points. No, but in all seriousness, I mean, yeah, I mean, I knew, and I think I said that the night that we were here watching the Golden State game one, and we're like, what the hell is going on? Because I was like, Minnesota's defense is going to just swallow them whole,
Mhm.
and that's what has happened.
Yeah,
You know that their defense is scary good,
yeah,
and
it is.
when Ant is on, he's on.
Right. Yeah,
And I hate saying this because I do like him. I do like him. I do like watching him play. There are some nights where he's just not there,
right.
and I don't know what it is.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm glad they made the trade for Julius Randle because when he's off, Julius Randle is that he's that he's that blue collar like baller. Like he just get buckets. Like it's no pretty way. He don't have a crossover. He don't have a signature move. He just put the ball in the basket. You know, and I saw even in that Lakers series, like I saw him giving LeBron fits because he doesn't have a go-to move. My move is to get to the basket and you're gonna foul me. I'm gonna get to the basket aggressive. I'm going to when I put the ball on the floor, like I'm coming with power. Like I'm either gonna score or you're gonna foul me. And what's happening, and he's punishing the Warriors with that. Draymond seems like he Draymond is one of the top defensive players in the league, but Draymond is looking like I can't guard.
Because he can't.
Julius Randle is taking the Draymond.
Because he can't. And it's nice to finally see Julius Randle a produce in the playoffs because he
Mm-hmm.
didn't do that when he was in New York. But
Right.
B realize who he is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's not a mid-range shooter. He
Right.
is get your ass on the block,
Mm-hmm.
pound it down there, and score.
Yeah. Yeah. So Minnesota defensively they look tougher because Julius Randle brings a toughness. Cat didn't have that test. He didn't have that toughness. He there's a lot of zest memes going out for Cat, but but them getting Julius Randle gives them that toughness to where like teams is overwhelming teams.
BJ, any thoughts on the Golden State Minnesota series?
I just, it's been tough to watch without Steph. Unfortunately, I'm not sure how Golden State's going to overcome it.
That's about right. So the other series that just concluded as we were coming on record tonight, Cleveland series, Cleveland Indiana series. They got punked in Game 4
Mm-hmm.
and tried to come back tonight, and it just they were up 19 and couldn't hang on to it. I mean, at this point, what the hell is Cleveland going to do? They're
Mm-hmm.
locked into
I don't
Garland.
know.
They're locked into Mitchell. Are they just going to be the Atlanta Hawks here going forward?
I'd be surprised if Donovan Mitchell doesn't ask to leave.
Yeah. 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 I saw something about what if Cleveland uh, sends Mitchell to Golden State for Kaminga. It was Kaminga, Pods, and like a 2027 first and second is what they were saying, because they were saying different trade scenarios, like if Donovan Mitchell asked out, who would he go to? And they talked about Golden State, they talked about Miami, they talked about Houston, a package sending him to Houston, um, and they mentioned another team, but
Yeah, here's the problem with Cleveland. Okay, with that scenario, like Mitchell's contract's $35 million a year, which for him, like for the production that he gets, it's a good deal.
yeah,
Golden State doesn't have the contracts to match that. Okay, because Curry makes 55, Jimmy makes 48, Draymond makes 24. After that, ain't no one left on the roster that makes more than 10.
yeah, yeah.
And
So
and, and the guys that you mentioned, Kaminga, like his contract's over.
yeah, yeah, they were talking about potentially, because I think Jimmy's on a 1 year, right?
Jimmy's got
Was it-
3 years left.
Oh, okay,
He signed that extension when he got traded.
that's right. He did. That's why I didn't mention Jimmy. Mm, yeah. Um, it's gonna be interesting to see where he goes, or if he asks to be traded, where can he go, right? So, um, you know,
Yeah, because obviously you'll need players back, but you also need salary back.
right, right. If you're Cleveland, would you do? Uh, Hold on. So Kevin Durant, is he a free agent after this year, or he still got some months left?
I think he's a free agent after this year.
Okay.
I mean, if we're just gonna fart around fake trades, how about this one? I know exactly where Donovan Mitchell should go. Okay,
Okay.
even try the trading machine, make sure the salaries line up, did everything. Okay, so Donovan Mitchell for Jonathan Isaac and Cole Anthony, go.
I mean, I don't know if Cleveland would do that. I mean, we would
There's
benefit
no way
from
in hell they would do that.
it. Yeah. I mean, we would benefit from it. But then again, it's like, can could Mitchell and Wagner and Paulo, could they play together? Because they all technically want the ball, and
Paulo
we're
doesn't want the ball. He just needs the ball because no one else can handle the ball.
So you think he would concede to Mitchell if Mitchell came to the Magic?
I think he would concede to anyone who would want to bring the ball up and let him cook. Whether
Mm,
it's Mitchell, whether it's Tyus Jones, whether it's anybody that's not him.
mm,
Okay?
gotcha.
The Magic's problem is they have Franz and Paulo and nobody else.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, honestly, I was looking at like, hey, maybe we trade Jonathan Isaac to Houston for the number 5 pick. You know, Isaac the 16 pick up to 5, and like Houston, hey, go take the religious nut. He's used to it. Go, just enjoy.
Man. Um, man, that's gonna be interesting to see what happens. Um,
But yeah, to BJ's point, I would be shocked, absolutely shocked, if Donovan Mitchell finishes next season a Cleveland Cavalier. Because this team has capped out. They have
mm,
completely capped out.
mhm.
They are essentially the Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons Philadelphia 76ers.
Man,
Tell me I'm wrong. that team could not make a conference finals to save their lives. And I don't see this Cleveland team doing that either.
The Nuggets just went on a little run.
Yeah, they're up 26-25 now.
I was thinking, back with the, let's say, when I was watching the Minnesota Nuggets series, the plays that Jokic usually makes, I think fatigue is starting to kick in because he's not making those plays like he was the first series.
Jokic's problem is not so much him; it's the fact that he's going against two strong bigs. He's going against Chad and Hartenstein.
Right.
And he normally will turn away from the big that's guarding him and find the right pass lane, find the right guy. He's not doing that with OKC because he's got two guys
that
are attacking.
You're right, and also too, like he's not like I was telling somebody today at work, like Hartenstein. I think he's underrated. Hartenstein is a good center.
Yes,
he can rebound. He can hit the 17-footer, and he has soft hands around the rim to where he can score. So in most centers in the NBA, Jokic don't have to play defense because they're not offensively sound, right? They're more on the defense side. He kills them. But Hartenstein can actually score around the rim. He has soft hands where when he gets the ball around the rim, he has a high percentage shot. So you're starting to see a little bit of fatigue in Jokic. Not only with him, but I noticed in the games that they played last game, the pick and rolls that he normally does with Jamal Murray. Remember, like the year that they won the championship, they were unstoppable in that pick and roll. Like you have to pick your poison. Now it's like they like I don't want to say Jokic, but more so Murray. He's settling for the 3-point shot, but he normally comes off the pick and he's looking to attack, which made them dangerous because when he's attacking, he can either lob it to Jokic or he can kick it in the corner for the 3 to Porter Jr. But now it seems like he's settling for the shot.
I don't know what's going on with Murray. Like he has not been right the past couple of seasons. Like ever since they won the championship, he has not looked right. I don't know why. It's been odd.
And he brings the physicality in his matchup with Jokic. Jokic over to Brown. Rims out. Grabbed by Williams.
So I do want to get back to the Cleveland series because we talked about what Cleveland is going to do. Can we give Indiana some love real quick?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a team that, I mean, I pretty much thought they were going to beat Milwaukee because Milwaukee was going to switch from the game. I think we all picked them to lose to Cleveland. And they just beat the shit out of them. I mean, it was not even close. And especially now with Boston going down, they have a great chance of making the NBA Finals.
Yeah. They do. They do. I mean, that'd be huge. It'd be huge for they have a solid team. I mean, they have a team to where, let's say if Indiana, whoever they face, right? They have a big man in Miles Turner who can stretch the floor. He can hit the 3. If you leave him open, he'll hit it, right? So that's going to cause whatever big man to come out and allow Halliburton and Naismith and I think it's Benedict Mathurin. I think his name is
Mathurin.
Yeah, Mathurin. Like let those guys get to the basket. So, and they're fast paced. Soon as Halliburton get the ball or the other guard, they get the ball, they're gone, and they're looking to score, man. So now it'll be a good matchup between them and OKC because it's going to be up and down, the whole series up and down. So we'll see.
It'll be fun. It would be fun. So, so that's kind of where the series stand. I don't know. I don't want to see the injuries kind of take away from the basketball because the basketball has been good. The Curry injury has definitely taken away from that series.
Mhm.
But I think the better teams are winning. And the Denver OK series has been one of the better series I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
I mean, it's OKC is like they're okay cliche. They're young, they're hungry, they're fast, they're athletic. Denver's like, I don't give a fuck. We are champions. We will show you what it takes.
Yeah.
And there's something to be said about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there is also something to be said about the NBA rigging their draft lottery. So, Mr. Thomas, question directed to you. Do you believe the NBA draft lottery was rigged for Dallas?
I mean, what do you think the odds were of Dallas getting the first pick?
1.8%.
Okay. Doesn't seem like it would hit, does it?
Not according to my Hard Rock betting app.
Yeah. I don't know. A lot of suspicion. The Patrick Ewing pick, the Michael Jordan stuff,
Mhm.
the Shaq,
LeBron.
yeah, LeBron. I don't know. It's hard to say no. That's for sure. It's very hard to be definitive either way.
I mean, I will say this, that for a league that has been trying to defend itself against being rigged and staged, they're not doing a good job.
No.
They really aren't. And I try not to think about it, but when I see things like what happened the other night, Dallas getting the number one pick after doing the Lakers are solid. Okay, let's kind of put all the pieces together.
Mm.
It makes me think back to when we were right out of high school, and the Lakers who were trailing to the Sacramento Kings in their series, and then all of a sudden the whistle started to blow, and Tim Donaghy came out and said that the NBA wanted the Lakers to win, and they were going to win.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes you wonder how much of that was actually true.
Yeah. There was another person that said that, like, they said, if there's a year to where you have the LA Lakers, New York Knicks, and Boston Celtics all not do well, the NBA doesn't do well as a whole, as far as marketing dollars, TV, revenue, stuff like that. Like they said, like if one of those three teams are like in the playoff hunt or they're about to win the championship, he says like it helps everybody in the NBA because of the market.
It's hard to disagree with that because, as we talked about, the first round of the NBA was one of the highest rated first rounds in several years. And you had the Lakers, you had the Knicks, and you had the Celtics all playing.
Mm-hmm.
And not just playing, but playing on national television. It wasn't like
Yeah.
the Celtics were playing on NBA TV because they were playing the Magic. Like no, it was all games on national television. So it's hard to argue that people watch the big name teams.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's not what you know; it's what you can prove. Can we prove that the NBA kind of did Dallas a solid by saying, "Hey, wink, wink. If you trade Luka to LA, you'll get Cooper Flag." Don't know. I do know that Nico Harrison is a freaking moron,
Mm-hmm.
and for whatever reason you want to put out there, didn't shop Luka. Was just going to trade him. Didn't try to get Giannis for him. Didn't try to get Tatum for him. When, okay, you're going to LA, we're getting Anthony Davis back. That was it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, however you want to think that went down, that's what happened. So, I don't know.
Well, only time will tell. I know that Dallas did come out and say that they're not trading their number one pick.
Oh, of course not.
And I
No.
heard that you know, it looks like Cooper Flag may be playing the three in Dallas.
Oh no. Dallas has a white dude that everyone's gonna like there. Shocking.
Oh man.
So now
Okay.
I will say that it's been kind of fun. You know, I follow college basketball probably more than you guys just because, you know, I can. It's something I come on the TV as I'm cleaning. Um, Rutgers was terrible this year. I want to say I don't even think they made the tournament. I'm gonna pull up their record. Um, they were in the Big Ten. Pull it up. Rutgers was 8-12 in conference and 15-17 overall. Didn't
Mm.
even win any record. So how in the unholy hell do they have two of the top four prospects on their roster and could not even finish remotely above 500?
Mm.
Somebody want to explain that math to me?
I don't think it's explainable.
Mm.
Although it has been funny because I was looking at some of the mocks. They had the Pistons taking Broom, I think, from Auburn, the center, and ESPN listed him as a super senior, not a senior, a super senior. I'm like, the dude's Van Wilder.
Let me-
So, but um, I will say I wanted to have a little fun tonight, and with the conspiracy, at least theories, around the draft lottery, I wanted to get your thoughts. And Dorian, I'll start with you, and then I'll go to BJ. What are some conspiracy theories that you will believe to the day you die?
it could be about anything.
Anything, anything at all. It could be the
Aliens
Titanic
that
was sank because of the gold standard. It could be JFK was shot because of the CIA. Whatever you want.
one I believe is aliens at Area 51 and the experiments. I do believe that the missing people that they kidnap, especially in the Nevada area. I think that they are running. I think some are getting experiments ran on them at Area 51. Yeah, because like what like history repeats itself, right? So like I've read stories about even during Roman times, like those supposed doctors would like take peasants and do all types of stuff to them, and then so it's like I do believe that Area 51 is a place to where they do experiments on humans. So
Okay. Anything else? You can have as many as you want. I don't care. We
I
got
mean
time.
it's so many. Like for example, the conspiracy about organ harvesting. Um, I believe that's true because they found bodies of individuals and their like intestines and heart is taken out of them. So, and this is around the world. Like it's happening like everywhere. So,
BJ, same question to you.
Hmm. I've been sitting here thinking about it. I believe there are probably aliens out there for sure. I'm not so much sure how I feel about Area 51.
mm,
Um, I do believe Kennedy was killed by a government agency. Um, I do believe that the country is a full blown oligarchy, and that we're completely run by corporations, and that uh, politicians are truly just 100% pawns now. What else? There's so many.
This is why I put it in the group chat for you guys to think
Oh
about.
yeah, Well, I mean, there's some real unpopular ones. Like there hasn't been a real war since World War II. Everything has either been a show of force to the Russians or an attempt to maintain control over resources.
Yeah.
And the wars are meant to be endless.
Well, I think human beings as a whole are meant to be at war with each other. We are not meant to get along. I think it was Neil deGrasse Tyson that said that any civilization, including our own, once you develop nuclear weapons, you're on the clock. And that clock, it's a race against the clock because it's either you use nuclear power to get off your planet and colonize space, or you use nuclear power to destroy your civilization.
Jeez.
One of those will happen, and it's which will happen first.
Mhm.
So,
There's
I'm,
more.
yeah, I'm with you guys on the aliens. I mean, I think it's extremely arrogant to think that we are it.
Right.
I mean, it's just now. I don't believe they're at Area 51. I've actually kind of read some of the reports from Area 51 that it was, because that's where they would do a lot of the secret testings, like the South Bomb or stuff like that, and they purposely made people believe it was aliens so they wouldn't go look at it. So, take that for what you will. I agree with BJ. I think JFK was shot. It was an internal job. Some alphabet agency somewhere. And really what leads me to believe that is the Jack Ruby piece of it. When Jack Ruby was killed, Oswald almost immediately, and everybody's like, yep, okay, good, we're done here.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I believe the Las Vegas mass shooting from a few years ago was a government job. They wanted somebody dead in that crowd because that thing disappeared quickly.
Yeah. I've had a lot of thoughts about that.
You think 9/11 was a government job?
No.
He's trying to get us kicked off. No comment. No comment.
I don't think our government's competent enough to do something that big.
Well, if I was trying to get away with something real smart, the first thing I would do is convince you that I was stupid.
So you're saying that Trump is smart because he's convinced us that he's stupid?
You're acting like Trump matters.
Fair. His handlers matter more.
No, yeah, his handlers matter. Trump's just out here just leaking shit out of his face.
Yeah. And not like Rudy licking shit out of his head, but out of his face.
Yeah. So the problem is we've all been monetized.
Oh yeah.
There's a dollar sign that floats over our head every day. And we're just a commodity.
It's social media. I mean, the saying's the truth. If the service is free, you are the product.
Mm-hmm.
There are no free lunches. If you think TikTok is free, no, it's not. Facebook is free, no, it's not.
Nothing in this world is free, man.
Nope.
No, you pay something for it.
Yep. So, BJ, you got anything else you want to add from a conspiracy theory?
No, I felt like I put a few decent ones out there.
I agree.
What about the Rothschilds?
See, now you're really trying to get us canceled.
Well, I mean, if there's conspiracies, wouldn't you look at the ones that are capable of pulling all the strings?
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, I would not be shocked if there was some group of people, whether it's a family or just a group, that runs everything.
Well, like there's a quote, and I'm paraphrasing here. We could look it up, but it's one of the Rothschilds, and he says, "I care not who makes the laws of a country as long as I control the money."
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, what is that? I mean, and that quote is probably 60, 70, 80 years old.
And in this country, your money controls everything. Everything. You know, there's a reason why Elon and his beta Mary almost men wanted data. It wasn't
Permit me to issue and control money of a nation, and I care not who makes its laws.
because you own the people that make the laws.
Well, so how many families is it? You got the Rothschilds. You got is it five
Well,
families?
Well, the Rothschilds are in control of the central bank. I don't know where.
You got the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. Um,
Well, what bugs me is there's this country in the world that has a history of very rich people that try to not just leave their mark on history, but mold society in a way that they see fit.
Mm-hmm.
It's really none of their damn business. Now you can go ahead and make donations to whatever university, library, whatever you want to do, and that's up to you. Nobody cares. But when you set up organizations specifically to either like socially engineer an outcome or something like that, I mean, you're setting yourself up for like Lex Luthor shit.
Yeah. And that's what really, really bugs me, for lack of a better word, about groups like the Heritage Foundation, the John Birch Society, is they will spend a gazillion dollars to warp minds, to warp society over what they see fit. Because they think they know better. Yeah. If you want to go down a deep, dark rabbit hole and really want to vomit, read some of the writings of Curtis Yarvin. And when you start reading those, you realize, hey, wait a second. Our president believes this shit. That the pores should be rounded up and used as biofuel because it's the only way they'll be useful to society.
That's nice.
Yeah. That only those who have $1 billion or more should own property because only they know how to use it. This is some of the shit that's out there. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is the shit that's running this country.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
And then you've got the National Christian Society, the Nazi party, presenting a bill in the Senate that brought a tear to Dorian's eye. Brought a small tear to ban any content, any media content that is meant to arouse or be titillating. So, porn, gone. Game of Thrones, gone. True Detective, gone.
We're gonna have to start buying Sears catalogs on the black market. I need that 1995 summer issue. That's what I need. I need that 1995.
Folks, that's where we're going. This is where we're going.
So Project 2025 isn't a conspiracy.
No, it's a freaking handbook. Yes, this is where we are now.
Idiocracy Part 2.
Okay. When they made Idiocracy, when they made The Handmaid's Tale, it was not meant to be a documentary.
I know, right? Wow, man. So there's a show I was watching, and they were talking about individuals who like they're like doomsday preppers, right? And the guy says he said eventually he said Russia and China is going to find their way to our soil, and they're going to try to take North America.
They already have. I mean, we're not
Right,
talking Red Dawn here.
right. So, but he was like, and then he referred to the movie Red Dawn.
Did I not just say that?
Uh-huh. Yep. He referred to the movie Red Dawn. He was like, he said, this is why. He said, I've been telling. Oh yeah, he's a pastor, by the way. Uh, he's either out of Missouri, somewhere in central United States. He's a pastor. He was like, he said, he said, I've been preaching for decades that eventually they're gonna come and try to take our land. And like he taught, I think he has like two kids. He taught his kids how to use guns and how to take a put a gun together and take it apart and stuff. And it's just like the mind of individuals. Now, could it happen? I mean, maybe, I don't know, but it's just like there are people in this world who are hard nosed, like this is going to happen. I'm prepared for it. I got all the ammunition. I got all the food I need. I'm just waiting for it to go down.
Then why the unholy hell aren't these Second Amendment fucktards defending against government tyranny?
Mm.
Yeah, that's what we've all heard for 40 years.
Mm.
I need as many guns as possible in case the government tries to take over.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're doing it,
Mm-hmm.
and you're cheering.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. They don't have to fight. You're giving it to them.
Yeah. On a silver platter. You voted this in. You chose to do this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the administration is crashing the economy.
Mm-hmm.
Doing exactly what they said they were going to do. And you voted for him because, I don't know, some black and white issue. You know, Kamala goes out there with an 86 slide deck of here's my plan for the economy. Here's how we're going to get things up and running. Here's how you're going to have jobs. Here's how you're going to have a working, a livable wage. Here's everything. And Trump goes out there, vomits on himself, dances to the YMCA for 45 minutes, and people vote for him.
Mm-hmm.
Or votes are counted for him. That's probably more accurate.
Mm-hmm.
So, you want my conspiracy theory? Something's funky with the 2024 election.
Yeah.
What do you think it is?
When Elon flew to Pennsylvania, like, what did you do that for?
Yeah.
What were your intentions? And then Trump comes out and says, I want to say thank you to Elon. Nobody knows computers like Elon, those voting computers like Elon does.
Something's not right. You know, and
Not allowed to say that now.
yep. So I'm just gonna put this out there. So when Reagan won in '84, he won 49 states to 1.
Mm.
Okay, beat the unholy hell out of Walter Mondale. Mondale still flipped counties, still flipped them from red to blue. Reagan won 49 states, and yet there were some counties that still flipped from red to blue. Trump flipped 88 counties. Kamala didn't flip a single one.
Mm.
Trump won all 7 swing states, which is very rare. Again, other than like blowouts like Reagan. Won them at a percentage high enough where it doesn't trigger an automatic hand recount, yet didn't win the popular vote. The statistical odds of that happening, all 3 of us would have to be struck by lightning right now for that to happen. That's the same statistical odds. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove.
Right.
Shit looks weird.
Right. Yeah. That's crazy.
So on a different note, Denver's up by 10 over OKC right now.
Not shocked.
And I need Aaron Gordon to like rebound the ball. That's all I need.
Right. And he's pretty solid rebound.
He has 2
Yeah.
tonight. I need 5.
Yeah. So yeah. That series is. I can see that series going 7.
It's the only one left. It really is
Yeah.
the only one that's competitive.
Right.
Because again, the Cleveland series is done. Boston series is all but done.
Mm-hmm.
And the Golden State series, I wish Curry was there, but as we've mentioned earlier, they can't score without him.
Right.
This is the only basketball we've got until the conference finals. This is it. Enjoy it, guys.
Man. Man. I'm So switching gears real quick. So if I could talk about the NFL really quickly. So I was watching and they were talking about the QB battle in Cleveland, right? And how, you know, they're saying they talk about, Dylan Gabriel, stuff like that. I just wish that we were able to be in a time where like people could just compete for the job and whoever gets it. Um, but the number of comments, you know, that I saw when they were talking about what's happening in Cleveland and stuff, it's just like people, we still hateful fucking people in this world, man. Like hateful. Like it's like whether whether you like a certain person or not, like that person, especially that person never got in trouble. Like that person never have done anything in public to embarrass his brand or his family's name. Like everybody has a, deserves a shot at winning a QB battle, or winning a starting spot, because it's about survival of the fittest. You gotta be able to, survive and survive and move on. So
That's not America though in 2025.
yeah,
Unfortunately, it's not. I agree with
right,
you that you should be able to win or lose a job based on purely on your merit,
mm,
purely on your skill of doing that job better than anyone else. That's not the way the world works today. Whether it's an NBA player, an NFL player, or HVAC installer, there's always going to be stuff around you that will prop some people up and will hinder others.
yeah,
It sucks. It really does. But you might as well wish upon a star. Cricket's going to be your conscience. It ain't going to matter.
You know what's not going to matter is whether or not they guard Brown. The Nuggets have gotten him multiple open 3-pointers. I think he's missed like 5 in a row.
Yeah, he's 2 for 6 from 3.
It's been bad. I can guarantee I've watched 3 misses in a row.
At some point,
You're
take a
wide
different
open,
shot.
but the shots he's taking are in the offense. It's tough.
Yeah.
He's supposed to take them.
And that's the thing. Like, it's like John Starks. We all remember what happened with John Starks. Like, we'll just keep shooting, but it's not working, and it's in your head at some point. It's like the Celtics in games 1 and games 2. They were what, 25 of 100 from 3, and at some point it's just in your head that I don't care if I'm wide open. I'm going to miss this. And I know we all remember hearing it growing up is if you're having trouble making a jump shot, go to the basket. Go to the basket, try to get a layup, try to get fouled. See the ball go in the net, and then go for a jump shot.
That's true.
They cut it to 4.
Cut it to 2. I don't know what kind of delay you're on.
OKC came back?
Yeah, it's 56-54 right now.
Mm.
The NBA with Going Inside, presented by American Express, premiering after Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals. 8-0 run now for the Thunder. Wallace can add one more at the line. OKC 7 of 9 at the strike. Denver is 3 of 4. Got a 3-second difference. Shot clock to game clock. Wallace, the on-the-ball defender against Murray. High screen.
I would
Jokic.
not want to have a hit screen by
Give it
Jokic.
up. Gets it back from Brown.
That would hurt.
Defense has been suffocating. Murray
Oh,
steps
nice.
through. Missed it off the heel. Hartenstein grabs it. And Caruso, they run out of time.
2-point game at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
Good first half of basketball.
Yep. It's good watching teams not give up, and that's something that I have appreciated. And all playoffs is teams will get big leads, and the other teams, for the most part, will try to fight back. You know, I know Miami and Memphis gave up, but that's on them. But like New York has come back from 20 points down, 19 points down consistently against Boston. You know, it looked like when OKC came out, they were on fire. And I'm like, oh, this game is over quick. Denver didn't care. It kept fighting, kept plugging away.
Mm-hmm. What you got to do?
Yep.
Yeah, it's not over until that fourth quarter buzzer ends, man. So you're able to chop away at leads. Also, too, because I thought about the Boston and New York games, even when they had Tatum, like they were just gritty, and like Thibodeau has the Knicks like playing that almost that Knicks style basketball of the 90s. So, you know, putting hands on them, being physical, you know, try to take them off their rhythm when they're coming off of a pick or a screen to shoot, stuff like that. So.
Well, I remember seeing this when the playoffs started, as that Boston will shoot themselves into a lead, and then they will shoot themselves out that lead very quickly. I've seen multiple times where they will shoot themselves out of games because their entire offense is come down, shoot a three, come down, shoot a three, and if you're making them, great. If they're not going in, you need to kind of stop and go, okay, what else do we have? During you hit it right on the head. Is New York, you know, they might be shooting threes, and if they're not going in, what do they have? They have Cat down low. They have Jalen kind of doing that dipsy-do thing that he does to get a basket. Okay, the good teams have other options.
Right.
Boston doesn't. Like their entire offense under Mazzulla is shoot as many threes as possible. The math is going to work out. We're going to win.
Yeah.
Sometimes the math don't math that way.
The math to be mathing. That is true.
So I know BJ and I go back and forth about this at least 5 times a year. You know, but if something's not working, change it up, try something different, and then go back to shooting threes. That's fine. But try something else.
Yeah.
You know, I can only run against the wall so many times before my head's going to start to hurt. Indiana's the same way. Indiana, I mean, I watched several of their games. They will take some dumbass shots because they think, hey, you know, shoot a three here, fine. But they will also go, oh, okay, this is not working. You know, Halliburton, do what you need to do. Tyrese, get us a basket. And they will. Denver's the same way. Okay, sometimes it's just not going in. Christian Brown shooting 2 for 6, wide open. Okay, Jokic, do something. get us a good basket. And you brought up a good point earlier in the show about old school centers like Julius Randle up in Minnesota, old school center.
Mhm.
And I know the argument is that guys like Patrick Ewing and Shaq and Hakeem couldn't play today. I beg to differ.
Mhm.
If Hakeem was out there today, his team would win the title. Well, maybe not today because he's like 80, but prime Hakeem
Prime King, yeah.
would win a title in today's NBA.
Yeah. You get the also another team that will win a title this year would be Sacramento Kings. With Webber and Divac and all those guys. If they're playing today, yeah, they'll be winning the game.
It's a good question. So, Houston went out in the first round. So, BJ, I'll ask you this question: if I replaced Şengün with Hakeem on Houston, do they win the title?
I mean, I don't know. The guys that are around Sagoon were having a hard time putting the ball in the basket.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, you think Hakeem's going to carry them all? He had a lot of guys making shots around him.
Yeah.
Kenny Smith, Robert Horry.
Vernon Maxwell, Sam Cassell, Robert Horry. Like, there was a lot of people making shots around Hakeem. And that's not to take anything away from Hakeem. But I don't know. Those guys are having a hard time scoring. I know because I was betting on him like a moron. 15 points for Jalen Green. He burnt me in one game. 15 points. From a number 1, number 2 option on a playoff team. I didn't think that was an extreme ask. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay. Prime Shaq on the Lakers.
With Luka and LeBron?
Yeah.
Adam. That's a lazy question.
They went out in the first round.
With Shaq?
The young Shaq too.
It must be late. It is. Oh yeah, it's close to Adam's bedtime. It's 10 minutes to 11. He's got some terrible questions. Are Shaq, Luka, and LeBron going to win a championship?
Luka and LeBron won one playoff game. They won less playoff games than Ben Simmons did this year.
Adam.
Facts are facts.
This is some bullshit ESPN argument you got going on right now.
Oh.
Shaq with Luka and LeBron. Shaq, no, I don't know what you're making faces for. Like, no, it's like Shaq with Luka and LeBron. That's not a question. He did it with just Dwayne Wade.
With just Dwayne Wade. I don't think there was anybody else on that team.
Who else is in there?
That's what I mean. I don't.
Yeah.
Was Mario Chalmers even on that team, or was that before?
I think he was on the team. I think it was a rookie. Because they had, I think Garrett. You talk, you got Garrett Payton on the team.
Who's the third option you could say go get me 20?
On that Miami Heat team, the 2008 Miami Heat team.
The 2016 that won the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here are their leading scorers of that championship team: Dwayne Wade, Shaquille O'Neal, Antoine Walker.
Yeah, there you go. So Shaq and Luka and LeBron.
Again, you would think Luka and LeBron would win more than one playoff game.
Right.
But with Shaq.
I'm just saying, facts are facts. Luka and LeBron do not play well together.
Right. Do you think that LeBron
You
is
don't have
more
to worry about
adjusted?
playing well together when you're throwing the ball in the post to fucking Shaq.
Yeah. Give it to him. Let him cook, man.
Okay. Patrick Ewing on the Knicks. Take Cat out, put Patrick Ewing on.
Would they
Next.
what? Go to the championship?
Would they win the finals?
No. I've seen Patrick surrounded by shooters and scorers that didn't do much.
Yeah. Um. So I was thinking about something. So let's say Rick Carlisle, the coach of the Pacers, let's say he takes them to the finals and he wins the finals, right? Indiana becomes NBA world champ. Um, how much is that is credited should go to the coach, Rick Carlisle?
I'd say probably 60%.
Because he was a coach from last year, right?
He's been the coach for a while.
Mm.
But it takes a good coach to recognize what you have. He's been on the coach for Indiana since 2021.
Mm.
So, but it takes a good coach to recognize what you have and to get out of their way. Because Halliburton is not his style of player.
Right.
Miles Turner's not his style of player.
Right.
But he's like, you know what? You guys know how to play.
Right.
I will do the coaching thing. Hey, timeouts, draw up out of bounds plays. I will do that. Y'all go cook. Because Carlisle, before he went to Indiana, was known as a hard-nosed defensive coach.
Right.
What's the one thing Indiana does not do? Play defense.
Yeah, the Ole difference.
It's working though. And that is the thing, though. I mean, Indiana, they kind of force you to play fast. And it's interesting to watch. Like, they could play a team like the Magic, and the Magic would try to run up and down the court with them. They would stumble and fall over themselves. But they would try to do it because most basketball players, and y'all can agree with me or not, want to play fast. They want to take the ball and run. They don't want to play in half court.
Right.
And so you play a team like Indiana that makes you do that,
Mm-hmm.
and you get out of your game.
Right. Definitely throws them in them also, yeah. Um, I was gonna ask you. So, would you say, um, would you say that, now that this injury happened to Jason Tatum, that that do you continue to keep that core together, or do you get rid of any and everybody except for Jason Tatum?
I don't think you go full fire sale. You may not have a choice when it comes to the contracts. I don't have Brown's contract pulled up now.
Mm.
But if you get rid of Brown and Porzingis, next year you're not making the playoffs. I mean, the only way for you to be relevant is to try to keep as many people as you can.
Mm.
I mean, I think they're going to get rid of Holiday,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I think Holiday's going to retire. If anything.
oh no, Orlando likes having old people here, so people come down here.
That's right. We had over the hill Ewing, Sean Kemp.
Sean Kemp in a Magic uniform was just depressing.
He couldn't fit in it. Oh man.
Well, gentlemen, you have anything else?
Um, I do want to say this. I do want to give a shout out to Dwight Howard, who's an inductee for the NBA Hall of Fame. It's long overdue. Um, I like I was telling people, like, Yeah, I challenge you to not look at anything in this personal life. We're talking strictly basketball. Like he deserves.
From a strict basketball perspective, he definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Sadly, because at the times we live in, he will not be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He will eventually make it in, but they will hold that against him.
Mm. That's true.
So, BJ, any closing thoughts?
No, I think I'm just going to watch the rest of this game and hope it continues to be as good as the first half was.
I completely agree.
Seems to be pretty intense.
Yep.
It's a good watch.
So, Dorian, any closing thoughts?
No, I'm just definitely sending positive vibes to Jason Tatum, man. That's a tough injury to deal with. As far as the uh ruptured Achilles, man, that's tough. Um, other than that, man, like you said, I'm just hoping for a good playoff series. I'm hoping for a really good finals. So I want I like to see the games close. Uh, so I can be on the edge of my seat, seeing what happened. Like that. That's what I'm looking for.
Just want good games. Whatever sport it is, whether it's hockey, football, basketball, just want good games. Just want the games to want the plays to mean something. Want the fourth quarter to mean something.
Yeah.
So I think with that, we'll sign off for the night. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Sandlot Sports. Good night and good luck.